It's time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. I know that it has been a couple of weeks, but there's been some housekeeping, some scheduling, a little bit of everything as I'm trying to balance out two different podcasts now. I told you guys a while back that this might be an issue as there was some transitioning and things, but here we are. It's been 2 weeks since our last episode. And it is on Thursday morning, as I told you guys the new schedule would be, at least for now. Things always change, but I think Thursday morning fits well for me. I'm off. I can have some coffee here. Oh, yeah. We got the pot here right next to me for refills, right? Got to have the refills. So Thursday mornings, I think, is going to be the Get Home Safe podcast time. I can record it the morning, get it out right after. And I think it's a nice little segue into the weekend, right? Thursday's like Friday light for a lot of people. And although it's nice to have podcasts on the early parts of the week to get us through the week, Mondays and Tuesdays, I think Thursday morning kind of works. So we're going to do that for now. The Charge to Keep podcast is going really, really well so far. A lot of great feedback. That is going to now start airing on Sundays, or if you listen on Mondays, because NFL football's going on or whatever, then there you go. You can listen whenever at your leisure, if you will. But for now, the Charge to Keep podcast will be moving to Sundays, and for now, the Get Home Safe podcast will air on Thursdays. Right? Just trying to balance things out. I got FedEx schedules to keep, packages to deliver. I got to get out to the Rio Hondo football practice after this here on this fine morning. So look for some interviews there. There will be content for the Charge to Keep podcast on Fridays at their football games, obviously, which kick off 1 week from tomorrow on August 26th. So hard to believe we are 1 week away from the season, basically. But a lot to talk about here on the Get Home Safe podcast. There will be guests on here occasionally, but we are a 1 day a week format now on Thursday mornings only. It'll just be me. But occasionally I will try maybe once a month to bring someone on here and to do like those old Friday formats, right? To have a one-on-one with someone. I've talked to so many people already, and it's not like I'm out of people, but it does get harder and harder to find time when basically I'm rolling sunrise till sunset some days, and not looking for sympathy. It's just the facts of life. So anyway, Get Home Safe podcast. It's good to be back. I have a ton of topics to get to today. And sometimes when I get on a topic, I will ramble a little long. So I'm going to really try today to just hit a topic, say my piece, and move on, because there's a lot of things that I want to get to. I can save them for next week if necessary. But anyway, that's just the schedule of events here. I've kind of moved on from the baseball terminology, the baseball rules thing, as we kind of move into football season here. Still a few weeks away from all three, pro, college, and high school going at the same time. But we're 1 week away from high school, or about 2 weeks away from college starting, and then of course 3 weeks away from the NFL season. So it was a fun time chatting baseball with you guys. Hopefully you guys learned a few things, and maybe I'll do that again next summer as I go over rules, or I go over baseball terminology, some slang, if you will, some baseball lingo. And I got some good feedback on that. So I will do that again next summer, maybe starting around Memorial Day, and roll through most of the summer with that. But a few things to get to today, guys. First off, I officiated at all levels. I officiated pro sports, college sports, high school sports, junior high sports, and youth sports. And there was a time in my life when I was doing all of them at the same time. And the one thing, the one I would dread more than any, right, would be youth sports. And that's where I started, right? That's how I started at Care Youth League, making $6 a game, thinking it was the greatest thing in the world, going out there working one-man games. And it really built me into being able to do that stuff later on in life to reach high levels, right? So, but I got to tell you, this story, I haven't heard it many other places outside of Jason Whitlock and his podcast, Fearless. It's also on video form and on YouTube. He's really hit hard on this story the past week, and it's a troubling story to me. For many of you, you guys have heard me talk about youth sports and the decay the past, I don't know, decade maybe. And it's a big reason I'm such a proponent of Care Youth League, because Care is still a place where, parents are not allowed to get out of control. There's competition and winning, but it's all about building character of the young boys and girls. And I think the organization does a good job of keeping parents under control, letting them know, hey, this is not life or death. We're not going to have any incidents. Why? I've been around how do you say it? Incidences on the field before. I've witnessed it firsthand. Parents fighting, kids looking around, the kids, they want the kids to be adults, and by doing that, the adults act like kids. And it's been very, very sad to see the decay in youth sports. And there's no shock that we have a shortage of officials everywhere, because who would want to go do that? Who would want to go out there and get screamed at for, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks? And kids are already hard enough to officiate. Sometimes, they run the wrong direction, weird things happen, and you're trying to keep it all together. It's tough. I knew a Major League Baseball umpire who he would go out in the off season and he'd work a few, not little league games, but like, I don't know, pony league games or something of that nature. He'd work a couple of them, only because he said he would see the strangest things. You'd see the multiple, 2 or 3 base runners on the same base. You'd see weird plays that you never thought of. You wouldn't see, and it would prepare him mentally for, his seeing things in the major leagues. And so I found value in it. Value, obviously, money wise too. I'll go work a youth baseball game for $40. Why not? I'll go do 4 or 5 basketball games, $25 each. Oh man, that's a 5 hours, $125 day. But it just began to war on me, and I had to break away from that stuff and just focus on my higher calling, if you will. But the reason I bring all this up is there was a tragedy in Texas over the weekend. And I haven't seen it much from ESPN. I've seen Jason Whitlock cover it in great detail. It was at a youth football game in Texas. They play tackle football in August, nice and early there in the great state of Texas. And there was an altercation with parents fighting, attacking a ref. And then the opposing parents and teams wanted to fight each other. And then someone pulled a gun, ended up shooting and killing one of the coaches for the opposing team. And I was just like, this is the nightmare scenario that we've seen just get it build up to possibly something as bad as this. There's been fights in parking lots. There's been, fights on the field and games canceled. And now we've had someone shot and killed. And what baffles me is this should be like news everywhere because of who it involves as well. This involved a former NFL player, Aqib Talib, who was played on the Rams. He played on the Patriots, the Broncos, had a great career in the NFL. His brother was actually the one who pulled the trigger, and Aqib Talib was involved in the altercation. Some witnesses have said he actually started the fight. Was a big, he could have helped settle it all down, and he didn't. And so Aqib Talib is a Fox broadcaster. I think he's going to be on Amazon Prime for their NFL coverage. And I haven't seen it anywhere. Maybe I'm not watching enough TV. I get alerts, ESPN, Fox Sports. I get all kinds of alerts and things. I haven't seen it hardly anywhere else. And I don't understand why. I mean, I would think even the anti-gun crowd would be at the forefront of this. Oh my God, we've seen someone pulled a gun at a youth sporting event and killed someone. We need change. Not even someone from that standpoint has really made this a story. And I'm bringing this up not to attack Aqib Talib, although I do think he is at fault here from the stories I've seen, and definitely his brother for pulling the trigger and killing someone especially at a youth sporting event. This, the people involved, all their this is a 9-year-old football game, by the way, 9-year-old, not high school, not JV, not junior, 9-year-olds. and we're fighting and killing each other. So I want you guys to look up this story. And the man's name who died was Mike Hickmon, Hickmon. M-O-N or M-A-N? Shouldn't I think it's M-O-N. You'll see it. Mike Hickmon youth football game. And you can see video of what happened. Mike Hickmon, he had a down marker. He was swinging it and it looked like self-defense, in my opinion. But he was kind of attacked by a mob of people and ultimately shot by Aqib Talib's brother, as Aqib Talib is standing right there next to him, participating in the altercation. So a lot of elements here. Youth sports, guns, former NFL player, current broadcaster. And maybe you guys haven't heard of this. And if you haven't, I really implore you, go look this up, because it touches my heart being around youth sports as long as I was in Care Youth League, and then also officiating all the local stuff. And I remember always having this sense of responsibility too. Yeah, it was nice making 40, 50 bucks a game or whatever it was. But I also looked around, I saw the kids and being like, man, if I'm not here to officiate the game, who will be? And you can always find somebody. But just thinking, these kids need coaches. These kids need referees. These kids need snack bar attendants. They need the cheerleader coaches. They need all these things. And I've just seen such a decay in youth sports the past few years. It's been so troubling. And to see somebody murdered at a 9-year-old football game, what are we doing? What in the world is going on? And I mean, can you try to imagine? I mean, you can't even imagine it. It's such a horrible thought. But anytime I've seen parents out of control, I think parents, I'm not a parent. I've said it a million times. My friends have told me, oh, it's different when your kid's playing. It's just like, okay, I know my dad was crazy. He screamed a lot when we played. I get it. But at the end of the day, we gotta look at the big picture here. Like, this is youth sports. All right. No one's getting any contract at a 9-year-old football game. No one's getting a scholarship at a 9-year-old football game. And I think the coaches, there's just a sense of pride sometimes. The wrong people end up coaching and refereeing games because it gets so bad out there that the right people don't want to get out there and coach and volunteer and referee. So for you people involved in youth sports, God bless you, but also keep it what it's supposed to be. Keep law and order. Don't give an inch on anything getting at, oh, they're just, they're just being happy. They're just being, my favorite word? Passionate. Oh yes. They're passionate. Oh, he's just being passionate. Well, yeah. Okay. That's like the term used that, okay. You can do anything then. You're being passionate. No problem. So just keep an eye out. Parents, remember to be the adults in the room, please, on the field, on the court, whatever. Let your kids have a good time. You want to push your kids. You want them to be good. Practice hard. Fine. Push them. Do everything you do in every other area of your life. But you can help tutor them, right? You can help them with the musical instrument. But ultimately, let the music teacher do the job. Let the school teacher do the job. Right? You obviously, if they're teaching them something wrong, hey, that's a different story. You as a parent should step up. But I've seen too many adults act like children at youth sporting events, and it's ruined youth sports. There's still some good things out there. Plenty of good people. You hate to paint one big broad brushstroke, right? But not all bad parents are bad, right? Not all cops are bad. Not all anything's bad. But we gotta work on the bad eggs in youth sports. And why this isn't a bigger story, I don't know, but please look it up. I'm not saying to get on there and just to badmouth Aqib Talib. He was a former NFL guy. I loved him when he was on the Rams, of course. But he seems to be totally in the wrong here, and to be amongst what happened. And this whole entire situation is just awful. 9-year-old kids witnessed one of their coaches shot and killed. So I hate to start the show off on this, but it's rather important to me. It was the biggest news really in sports going on, and it touches me just because it's such a devastating thing to youth sports. Now, how many kids? I mean, I heard one of the coaches interviewed and talked about this. He says, what's this going to do to the kids? Now, every time they see people running or start to fight, they think gunshots are going to ring out now, since that's how we settle things at youth sporting events. So anyway, please look this up. Mike Hickman, rest in peace. Look up the story. You formulate your own decisions. Why the news media is not making a bigger deal about this. Even someone like the anti-gunners, right, that have been so adamant about guns this, guns that. How come they're not involved in this story? I don't really want them to be at the forefront and say, oh, guns are evil and this. I don't want them to do that. I'm just curious why they're not. They pick and choose kind of their outrage, if you will. It's just a perception from me, an example from me on the selective outrage that we see sometimes from these various groups. Okay, I will move on to something a little less serious, but there'll be some other serious topics here on the podcast. So I'm going to try to bounce around here. We're talking about binging shows, and I have a long list of shows. And I was sitting there. We knocked out Peaky Blinders not too long ago. We're on to the Flight Attendant season 2. But I was looking at my list of shows here that I have mapped out. And I was like, man, how am I going to tackle these? Which ones do I hit first? And it hit me. And maybe this isn't a great financial plan. But I was like, well, you know what? I think you treat this like you treat your list of shows like you would maybe some credit card debt. Maybe have 2 or 3 credit cards. And yeah, okay, I know nothing about finances. Okay, I just know how to survive, basically. But some would say, oh, you tackle the highest interest rate first. You knock that one out. Well, what's worked for me and my decent credit is any bills I have, I try to knock the smallest one out first, because boom, it's paid off and it's done with. Then you could tackle the bigger one a little more fiercely, right? And anytime you pay something off, it's cool. It's a good feeling. So that was my game plan with shows. Look at the amount of episodes. Look at the season lengths. Okay, boom. This one is 10 episodes a season, only 2 seasons. Let's tackle that one right now. Boom, that one's done. Then we're off to. You get some momentum, is what I'm saying. Sometimes in life you need momentum, and when you're binging shows, who's got time to sit? Sometimes how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? But if you're going to eat a squirrel, I don't eat elephants or squirrels, but the point is, get it done, move on to the next thing, the next task, right? Next play. At least that's my thought. Anyway, I don't know if that made any sense to you guys. It was just a random thought I had, and that's something I wanted to share with you guys on the podcast. Pizza math. Okay, this is something I'm very passionate about. Yogi Berra. Hey, Yogi, you want your pizza cut into 8 slices or 6? I'm not that hungry. Make it 6. Okay, very, very funny. But slice count matters. It does, especially when you have guests, or you're around, you're buying pizza for friends, or I'm an overbuyer. I would much rather have extra slices that we can refrigerate and eat the next day than to have everyone kind of, I wish I had one more slice. You know what I mean? And 4 people, okay, let's get 2 pizzas. 3 people, tough call on the pizza math. You can get a big one. I'm talking about your standard, okay, we'll say large. Extra, some people have extra large, but a large pizza, I don't know, what is it going to be? 12, let's say 12 slices. Okay, let's see. That's 4th grade math, 4 times 3. Okay, so maybe 4 slices each. You do the pizza math. Then you throw in genders. Maybe young ladies don't eat as much as us men. So there's that fact. I mean, this is like E equals MC squared sometimes. You had 2 slices? What are you, an animal? What are you, a savage? And then on the flip side, okay, 4 slices, 2 servings of 2 slices. Okay, that's pretty full right there. But man, if you're a dude and you go for that 5th slice, that 5th slice is like, you're a monster. Like, you could feel the wrath of people like looking at you. And even if people aren't looking at you, you feel it internally. That conscience, right? And your conscience is somewhere near your stomach, I found. Because you're like, I shouldn't have this extra slice. 5th slice, right? But 2 slices, what's that? What is that, an appetizer? 3, okay, that's probably enough, Matt. 4 is like, Well, I just wanted a prime number, or not a prime number. That would be 3. I just wanted a nice even number. 4. 4 quarters, right? It just makes sense. And when you're dieting, you're watching your weight. You shouldn't be ordering pizza anyway. And God forbid they give you the personal pizza like at California Pizza Kitchen, or I don't go there. Where do I go? Blaze Pizza, where it's the round pizza. They cut it up into I don't know, but a nice round pizza like the little one. You're like, I can eat all this. I probably shouldn't eat all this. I should save a few slices, but I'm gonna eat all of it. Pizza math. It's a real thing. I don't know why we didn't take that in school. We went general math, algebra, pre-algebra, algebra 2, calculus, geometry. Why did we never discuss pizza math? It could have been a quick class, maybe a week long. And just like my theory on television shows, we could have knocked that one out first. I think society might be a little nicer, might be a little more cordial had we learned better pizza math etiquette. My favorite is when you have like, I don't know, 10 people and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll get some pizzas. And whoever does orders like 2 pizzas. It's like 2 pizzas for 10 people. I mean, they better be monster the size of this table pizzas. Mike's double the jumbo, extra large, whatever. Ordering pizza, you should always you need to look at pizza ordering like it should feed you and your family for the next 3 days. When you order pizza, it needs to be, okay, we are living off this for the next 3 days. And if we don't have extra, we're not going to eat the next 3 days. So plan accordingly, ration it out. And maybe someone would say, well, Matt, don't have 5 pizza slices. Look, I understand. And there's a time and a place. Sometimes, you know where 2 pizza slices works really well? That like after dinner meal. You eat dinner around 6, around 9 o'clock. You're kind of like watching Sports Center. You're like, I could go for, do we got anything in that fridge? Oh, we got pizza. Oh, but it's late. I can't have, okay, well, it's like, okay. 2 slices. And you go in there and right, there's the big ones and the small ones. You always grab the 2 big ones. You're just like, what's that? That small piece. That's for like that. That's like 2.5 slices. I'm not saying these are good practices. I'm just being honest with you guys. Pizza math, pizza algebra, whatever. It's important for us to know these equations. So 2 slices. I've seen young ladies eat 2 slices. That's probably how they stay much thinner than us men. But we usually will have 4 or 5 for the main course, and then hours later down the road, maybe at midnight or dare I say the morning at some time, those 2 slices will creep into your life and you'll be like, man, I've had 9 pieces of pizza in the last 12 hours. It's not pretty, but the first part of recovery is admitting that you have a problem. And sometimes it's not a problem. It's just simple courtesy. You order pizza, order a lot, will you? Because never in the history of the world, since Alexander the Great, since before Christ came, probably around the time of the Israelites in Egypt, when they were fleeing Israel and they had a pizza party, do you think they ordered a couple of boxes? No. The 10 plagues had just happened. They witnessed all that. They were celebrating God freeing them from their bondage. I bet you they didn't have a shortage of pizza. They ordered a lot probably to take with them on the road. Road trips, another thing. You have pizza the night before a road trip, you pack that up, boom, perfect food to travel with. I'm not being sacrilegious here. I'm just formulating ideas and thoughts and giving you guys some imagery. Order extra pizza, okay? I know dollars are tight these days, but I don't want to live in a world where we have to ration out pizza slices. And yes, I have occasionally done the sneak slice too, where, I'm going to go get 2 more. And you have one in the kitchen while you're walking so they don't see you. You end up eating 5, but no, I only had 4 pieces. Okay, enough pizza math. Summertime, supposed to be happy, enjoying time with each other. And I'll move on from that. Okay, you know what I think should be outlawed? We need an amendment for this. I don't understand it. I think it has damaged lives. It has made us more lazy. And that is the snooze alarm. Who on earth came up with the snooze alarm? There was a time in my life where I did it quite a bit. I utilized it. I'm not proud of it. A lot of my teenage years. But the snooze alarm, it makes you late. It makes you lazy. And what is with this 5-10 minutes of sleep? Do you think you really get 5 or 10 minutes of sleep? It's not even a snooze. You barely close your eyes and it goes back off again. And what do? You hit the snooze alarm again. We need to ban the snooze alarm. It makes people late, and then they rush, and then there's accidents. Let's tie it together. Let's see what the result is here. I do set multiple alarms, but I set an alarm for 45 minutes, whatever, before I have to leave. And then I sent an emergency alarm for about the time I have to leave. So it obviously reminds me, hey, get out the door. But in a worst case scenario, it'll also give me like, oh, I missed my first alarm, which I don't miss alarms, but it would enable me to be like, oh, I have 5 minutes to throw everything together and leave. It's an emergency alarm. Plus, I set alarms throughout my day as like reminders to do something. But what I have gotten away from is the snooze alarm. And I know people, I won't go into details, but I know people who are big snooze alarm people. And to me, that is like a multi-round, multi-magazine alarm. Why have 2 or 3 alarms to get up one time? I don't understand it. And once you hear that alarm, I can't go back to sleep even for 5 minutes. You lay there, okay, look at my phone, whatever. But time is of the essence, people. Snooze alarms? What are we doing? What? You know, they should be called as woke alarms. That'd be hilarious. Because you're like up, but you're not really getting anything done. Okay, I'm kidding. It's loud, but there's a bit here. There's a bit here. Instead of snooze, we'll call it woke because you're waking up, haha. And then, but you don't really get anything done. It's a short frame. It's like loud for a second, and then you do nothing. And then I think we changed the name from snooze to woke. That'd be funny, at least in my world. So anyway, ban them all. No snooze alarms. No snooze alarms at all. We make it illegal. If we make things illegal, they won't happen, right? If we've learned anything, make things illegal, they will magically go away. This multi-round capacity round alarm it needs to go away, because if you just keep hearing the snooze, you keep hitting it, you feel like you're doing something, but you're not doing anything. You're shortening your day by doing this. Get up, wake up, literally. Okay, on to something else. I heard this the other day. Above normal temperatures. Above normal temperatures. We need to check our AC and make sure. Above normal temperatures. It's 100 degrees. It's August. Oh, this has never happened before. I've told you guys before. Language is everything. Language is everything. You can't. Above normal temperatures. That sounds catastrophic. I'm sorry. I just wrote it down. I found it hilarious. What does that mean? Oh, it's 103 today instead of 102. These people that are, I tell you, I don't like being hot. I hate being hot. But these people that are like, I can't believe how hot it is. How come no one gives me water? Well, you give yourself water. What is wrong with you? Have you never been in August before? Is this your first time? Do we need to have a ceremony for you? Do we need to maybe give you a prize? Survivor of August. And I know it's 110, 120 in Arizona and Nevada and stuff, but Californians, those are people I'm around. Man, we're soft. Oh, it's so hot. Yeah, it's August. If it was hot in December, okay, then you could say something. And I've said this before, but still, it's just like I heard that above normal temperatures. What does that mean? Everything has got to be doomsday and awful. Stop it. What are we doing? We have to stop this. Oh, I just chuckle. All right, I covered that. You know who got to prime time finally? And it kind of means something. The Detroit Lions. They're on Hard Knocks on HBO. I remember seeing the Lions on like Monday Night Football once last year. I was like, why are they on Monday Night Football? And they don't have any primetime games this year. Thank goodness. But I was just like, okay, HBO, good. That's where they should be. That's where they should start. And I feel for for Motor City, the Detroit Lions and everything. But I found that funny. Like the Lions are off of primetime. Oh, let's give them the HBO miniseries. And I know they just rotate around and stuff, but I found that rather funny as well. So good for the Lions. I've watched 2 episodes. I love Hard Knocks. It's great stuff. It's not much goes on. Excuse me. Whoa. Coffee this morning. Where'd that come from? I need more of this stuff. I've been talking to you guys. I haven't had my another term I love. Underrepresented group. Underrepresented. What does that mean? You have to, when you see these words, you have to like, don't just accept verbiage. You have to think of that as an underrepresented group. Well, I think 5'6" overweight white dudes are an underrepresented group in the NBA. How come I don't get it? Maybe some people aren't either good enough at something or they're not interested. Like what's an example? Can't say that. Can't say that. What I mean is, say for instance, here's an example. Women in sports. You see a lot of sideline reporters or women broadcasters, right? And you could say, well, they were an underrepresented group. Well, maybe in theory, there weren't that many women who were interested in doing that job. Now, there actually are a lot of women interested in doing that job. So maybe that's not a great example, and maybe there was prejudice and stuff before, but it's 2022. Like here's my thought. Here's my thought. If you really wanted to be prejudiced, let's say you're the worst sexist, racist, you're the worst. You realize how like hard it would be in today's world. You really, and I don't support any of those ideas. Just to be clear, you realize how like hard it would be to be an actual bad. Okay, and there's bad things in this world. There's murderers. There's all kinds of bad things. We're not a murdering country just because there's murderers in it. Okay. But like 2022, I understand people could get away with things in like the 90s or even a couple of years ago, but not in today's world. You can't be prejudiced to a group of people. Like it's I'm not saying it's impossible, but it'd be really hard to get away with all the technology and all the paper trails and like all the equity movements and things. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it's not an existential threat, I guess. Like it's an underrepresented group. Maybe some groups are not interested in certain jobs, we'll do, I don't mean to do this, but we'll do the women thing in the military. We need more women in the military. I have no issue with women in the military. I think it's great if you want to serve and you can fulfill all the requirements and everything. Anybody, man, woman, whatever. But this idea that we need more of a group of a, like, I don't understand that. Maybe there's clearly more men interested in serving in the military than women. Okay. And I know women in the military. God bless them. I know women police officers. I know any group, whatever. Like, I guess I just don't underrepresented group. We try to we're trying to make everything exactly the same. You need the exact amount. Can you imagine if NFL teams were run this way? We need exactly the 53-man roster. So we'll round it down and call it 50. Can you imagine if NFL teams said, we need one player from every state? Exactly one. One from California, one from South Dakota, one from Alaska, one from Maine. Equity. We need one player from every state. We cannot. What's a really All state. We have New Hampshire is an underrepresented group in the NFL. We need people from New Hampshire. Equity. Can you imagine how great that football team would be? Woo-wee! Move over, Super Bowl champion LA Rams. We got team equity on the way. That's how ridiculous a lot of this stuff is. Okay. One more time. You have in today's world, you have to like declare and post a square and say, I am against all these. I am against any discrimination of any kind, prejudice, whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it. I'm against all those things. But I do not think that people should be pushed to the front of the line because they're underrepresented. And if so, maybe speak out and make sure your local team has the appropriate amount of people from each state for equal representation. I think that would be very consistent of you. Okay, what else can we do? What else can we talk about? I'm moving on here, bouncing around. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I don't have any tattoos. All right, I thought about this the other day, and tattoos. Hey, if you want them, do your thing. Whatever. They're not for me. My favorite story was when my brother got a tattoo, and my dad told me a few days after. He goes, "Congratulations!" I go, "What? What are you talking about?" He goes, "I saw your brother's tattoo. Your inheritance just doubled." And my brother had a nice tattoo. It says our mother's maiden name on there and the day she passed. But so it's a nice tribute to her. And I've seen some cool tattoos. I have nothing against them. I mean, anything from like the neck up is kind of odd to me, or like the sleeves and stuff. But like a lot of military guys get tattoos, police officers, cool, whatever. They're not for me. I don't like. I don't want to get stuck, whatever, with the needle and, but I'll look cooler. I'll look rich. No. Anything on this body, probably not looking that great. So my thought was, I was like, I don't need a tattoo. You know what the old school, you know what tattoos used to be? Are scars. And I got all kinds of scars. Let me tell you, scars, got my knee, my thigh here, even got a scar on my tongue, man. I got all kinds of scars, and scars were like, those not free tattoos. Scars were like earned. That's an earned tattoo. You didn't go pay for a tattoo for some marking on your body. No, I earned this one. See this? I earned this. I didn't just have someone write it on me because, a skull, that'll look cool. No. See this big gash on my leg? I got a story behind it, and I earned it. So to me, scars are tattoos that were earned, not paid for. What do you think? Am I wrong? Maybe you're a tattoo guy. Maybe you're not a tattoo guy, but those are my thoughts. Look around. It's like, do you have any tattoos? No, but I got like 4 or 5 sweet scars. You want to see them? To me, those make more sense. A lot more sense. How'd you get this one? Oh, skateboarding accident. What about this one? Bike accident. What about just bit down playing on a cart as a kid, busted my tongue open. Oh, tell me the story about, because everyone's like, oh, tell me this. That's how I got this. Everyone's like, oh, tell me the story of that tattoo. I'm like, story? They went to the tattoo guy and said, paint this on me. There's no story. Well, what does it mean? What is the symbolism, the deepness? I know it's artistic and everything, but to me, scars mean more. And if you don't have any, maybe you haven't lived. Maybe you need to live a little more. And maybe that's why tattoos are so like attracted to people. It's like, yeah, man, look how cool. Look how cool. I'm not saying all of you, don't come beat me up. Take it easy, Dodger fans. I know there's a lot of you with the tattoos. I'm not discriminating. Not discriminating. Love Dodger fans. Most of you. Anyway. Tattoos, man, versus scars. To me, scars are earned. Go earn some. If you haven't earned any, maybe play outside a little more as a kid. Maybe stop. You can't get scars playing video games, to my knowledge. Maybe you can get a thumb injury. I don't know. I told you guys it'd be all over the place today. All right, I'm going to go into something today because I don't want to ramble too much longer, but I do want to cover this. An experience I had. And my question to everyone is this. I've talked about COVID. I know everyone's probably tired of hearing this, but work with me here. Work with me, people. If you are the most COVID religious, Fauci worshiping, triple masking, terrified, abundance of caution, freak, whatever out there. if you're that person, my only question is this. At what point does this end? At what are the thoughts of these scientists and people who've been wrong about most things, by the way, and I have yet to see an apology, not for being wrong. No. If you were wrong about something, hey, mistakes can happen. What pisses me off is the absolute censorship we've seen from anyone who disagreed with the scientific narrative. There's still posts. You post something on Facebook, there's still, oh, this is COVID misinformation. Are you sure you want to post this? There's still warnings and things that are said now that are true, that they're still holding on to this stuff. Masks and vaccines. And look, if you believe in all those things, fine. But they fired people from jobs for not taking a vaccine that does not work. We'll take a third shot. Take a fourth shot. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot. Oh. Where does it end? Does it never end? I don't know who else has these mask policies and things, and then, vax requirements. But here's the timeline of events, by the way. Wear a mask. It'll help slow the spread. Stay 6 feet apart. Okay, take a vaccine. We did it. We found it. It'll stop the spread. You can't transmit it. Okay, yes, you can. You can still get it but you can't transmit it. Okay, well, you can get it, but you can't transmit. You can transmit. Okay, well, actually, no. Well, now, okay, well, if you get it, it's good. It won't be as bad. We've gone just down the line. We moved the goalposts multiple times. People like me, oh, Matt, you're how dare you not comply? What? Why? Comply? Why do you need, you don't need this. If you're 90 and you're unhealthy or okay, sure. Yeah, probably good to, better safe than sorry. Get home safe. But been wrong about everything. And it's not so much the apologies that aren't out there for the people that were dead wrong and that were manipulating you, telling you, oh, this will never, it's not something we are forced to live with. They're now saying all the talking points that all the people they censored were saying. This is just something we're going to have to live with. Who was saying that a year and a half, 2 years ago? All the evil right-wing people that you censored. All the scientists you didn't agree with. Is the vaccine really going to work? Oh my, how could you say that? We're going to censor you. Are there any apologies for censoring someone like Alex Berenson? Look him up. He's been right about everything. And Twitter blocked him. Anybody who mentions it, he was censored. And you got to ask yourself, why did they do all this? Was it for safety? I don't think so. They had a narrative. CDC, the WHO, whoever you want to say, all in cahoots. Do you know how much money Pfizer has made from all this stuff? Billions. This is all about control and money. And by fooling people into thinking, I think that the reaction to the virus has been so much worse than the virus itself. But Matt, people have never died before. Never in the history of the world. I got to tell you guys about an experience I had. So this is a while ago. And again, I've been off the air for a while, but I went to the hospital, not for me, for a loved one. And the hoops that you have to jump around were hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I'm sitting there going, this is a hospital. This is real world. This is where people are like saved and fixed. First of all, you're treated like second-class citizen if you're vaccinated over here, unvaccinated. So let me get this straight. Vaccine is so good and masks are so good and testing is so good that you have to do all three of these? This is a hospital. You had to proof of vaccination, wear a mask the whole time, and take a test before you went in. And maybe some of you have dealt with this stuff the past few years, and I'm not in hospitals that often. I'm going, wait a minute. And I know these people are just doing their job. I understand all that. But if you were, no, you didn't have to take a test if you were vaccinated. Just had to say, hey, is your temperature okay? But if you weren't vaccinated, ooh, over here, get in this line. Wait, you got to wait longer. So you take your test, got to wear a mask, and just jumping through hoops, one thing after another. I'm like, didn't everyone just test negative down here? Test negative before they went upstairs into rooms, and now we have to still wear a mask? I would think maybe one or the other. So I'm just going, what are we doing here? So I bring this up because I was sitting there, and there was this Hispanic man sitting, minding his own business, and I don't know, reading a book, or he was definitely waiting for someone, and you could tell, most other people in there, he was waiting for someone. He was worried about a loved one, and he had his mask off, and he had already taken the test, worn his mask to get through, and now he's up in the waiting room area, and he's sitting there minding his own business, distanced away from everyone, and this white lady, this I don't like to stereotype, but look at it, part of my job. When you drive Uber, or you're meeting people every day, I won't say stereotype, but just impressions, first impressions, right? That's a better word. And my impression from this lady when she sat down is, I was like, okay, she was doing her work on her computer, and there was a vibe about her that I was like, there's something I don't like here. Didn't know what it was, but I see her, she sits for 5-10 minutes. She jumps up and like runs to the front desk and tells the nurses about the guy sitting there not wearing a mask. And I feel ashamed that I didn't rip my mask off and just be like, this is ridiculous. But I was there to see a loved one, and I wanted to see the loved one. So I was kind of put in a situation I didn't want to support. I don't go to hospitals often, but I shamefully I stayed masks. And anyway, this poor guy, he wasn't wearing a mask. Like I said, Hispanic guy, pretty little racial discrimination maybe from there. The little white lady who was I was like, you're wearing a mask. What are you terrified about? So that, sir, we need you to wear a mask up here. What? Poor guy. And in broken English, he's saying, I took the test downstairs. I'm fine. I'm okay. Like, there's nothing wrong. I felt so bad for him. Then there was another guy who walked in. He was like, physically, his arms, they worked, but they were really slow, and he was moving really slow. And they were like militant on him. Sir, you need to wear your mask. And he was just, I'm trying. It's hard for me to put it on. Can someone help? And he needed assistance to get it on. And I'm just like, why are we treating people this way? That white lady, that little, can I say the term, Karen? I'll make up another term. It's reminding me of, I don't know, some Hollywood producer lady. I don't know. Like, are you that terrified? Are you that scared? What is wrong with you? I'm still saying the reaction to all this is hilarious. And then right downstairs, I mean, literally downstairs, there's a cafeteria where anybody can go. And obviously everyone's down there eating and has their masks off and are walking around. So literally they're right downstairs. If it was that dangerous and that terrifying and that deadly, there wouldn't be a cafeteria right downstairs full of people who are not wearing masks. So that was my experience with that. And I'm just like, it went from just wear a mask to just get a shot to now wear a mask and have a shot and take a test And I'm just like, it's never going to end. Do you guys, this is my question, which I started this rant with, is when does it end? Is this something you expect everyone to do the rest of their lives? It's been 2.5 years. Maybe this is now just an illness, a virus that is, we're forced to deal with, forced to live with. You live a healthy life and protect yourself. Don't do stupid things. Don't sneeze in your hands and wipe it all over places. I mean, don't do stupid, but like everything you've tried hasn't worked. Maybe it's just something you just got to live with. Well, Matt, what about my great aunt and my grandmother? Okay, hey. I don't have any grandparents. You know what happened to all of them? They all died in their 80s. My mom gone in her 50s. So don't try to tell me about, oh, well, you don't know what it's like to lose anybody. How dare you? No, I do know very, very, very well. So I'm not saying line people up and get rid of them by any means, but this is something we have to live with. And most of the country has moved on from it all. And I think the people that are over it, they're over it. But my question to the people clinging to the COVID gods, what is your end game? When does it end, or does it ever end? Do you expect the world to live in masks the rest of our lives? To take fake scenes forever? 20 shots? Is this how we're supposed to live forever? I choose not to. So I choose not to live in that fear. And my question is to you is, when does it end? This all ends when we say it does. And I think that's a big reason why LA County didn't go back to masks a couple weeks ago when they said they were going to, was they knew an uproar was coming. And cities like Long Beach, Pasadena were at the forefront and said, no, we're not doing that again. So this all ends when we say it does. I think most people are ready to just live their lives. And I'm still saying, oh, masking of kids in schools or vax requirements for this and that. I'm just like, let it go. Let it go. Wake up. Live your life. And I want to be the guy that says, if you want to wear a mask, go ahead. But then I see people, I'm like, I shouldn't, but I do. I'm just like, what are you doing? But if you want to do that, go right ahead. But all these requirements, and Matt, you're a denier. How could you? Why would you? Whatever. This ends when we say it does. It ends when you say it does. Not when another variant is coming. What is it called? The midterms variant? I think I've heard the midterm variant. It should be coming here very, very quickly, and get us some more mail-in ballots. Let's do that again. That seems great. Don't be scared, please. Many of you have had COVID. Guess what? You're fine. Some of you, maybe it was a struggle. Back to my point. We're so, I mean, everything now. It's hot out. Yeah. So deal with it. I can complain about gas prices and cost of this and cost of that all I want, and I will continue to do that on here. But ultimately, you know what I got to do? I got to deal with it. I got to live with it. It's not fun. It's not something I want to do. But man up, people. Oh, sorry. Human up. Human up. Enough is enough. I mean, experiences. Oh, and that same lady. What is it about people answering phone calls in front of people? What is going on? This is a true pandemic. Why do people think they can answer a phone call in front of other people? Why is that a thing? Go outside. Go in the hallway. Why do people answer their phone in front of a group of people? Why do they do this? You don't feel this. You don't have that gene. Like, I don't want anyone listening to my conversation anyway. And I also don't want to be talking and have people have to deal with my noise. Like, what is that? How did that become a thing? I'm going to step outside and take this. Remember when we used to do that? Oh, stop answering your phone in front of people. If you're outside in a setting where you're spread out, that's fine. But if you're in a room, a waiting room, You're in an Uber car. I don't care. Do your thing. I mean, it's kind of annoying when I'm driving, but on an airplane, ooh, there's another one. These people just talking, yeah, and they're talking loud, of course. I'm not in favor of just assaulting people, but man alive, don't tell me there's not a reason to. Sometimes, don't tell me there's not a reason. Let me see. The hospital, the vax, the mask. When does it end? None of this works. I agree. Blah blah blah. Okay. Final thing I'll get to today. I told you guys I'd bounce around quite a bit. This is something I just do not understand. It hit me the other day, and I can't wrap my mind around this. Why this is a thing. Again, that should be basically a segment on the show. Why is this a thing? And again, I'm always learning about the female mind. I grew up with a brother. Most of my friends are males, and my mom, God bless her, she's been gone a long time. I got a girlfriend. I got a couple of female friends, but I don't. Why do women refer to their friends as girlfriends? Why? Don't most of us assume, I would say, even if you have some guy friends, most of your friends are probably female. Why do women refer? Oh yeah, me and my girlfriends, we're going to do this. Why? And I'm even getting like in a weird, why the term is weird. I'm saying, why is that a thing? Me and my girlfriends. Yeah, you could just say friends. To me, that's over like that's overdoing of the whole vocabulary thing. Why do you have to say girlfriends? No guy would ever say, yeah, me. Most girls say girlfriends and guys say buddies. Yeah, me and my buddies. Oh, my buddy this, my buddy that. But I heard, oh no, my girlfriend in Texas. And in today's world, everyone's like, girlfriend, what are you talking about? No, just kidding. I'm not going to go down that route, the whole girlfriend term. But like, why do women say that? I can't understand it. I'm asking the females out there, why do you maybe you don't? Why do you refer to your friends as girlfriends? Is it friend is not a good enough title? Me and my girlfriends. Why don't you just call them bridesmaids? That's what, I don't know, the close ones are supposed to be, I guess. But guys, there's so much, like, women throw that term, oh, my girlfriends. And it's like, it's to be more fancy or to like be more detailed. I don't know. I mean, even guys who have friends who are females, we don't say, oh man, me and my girlfriend, because girlfriend is a partner term, right? And guys would never say, oh, me and my boyfriends, my guy friends, even guy friends. I mean, my guy friends. It's usually me and my buddies. And even a buddy, I hate the term buddy as like a directive term, like someone I don't know. Hey, buddy. Hey, I don't know you, pal, friend. Don't call me buddy. But if a friend goes like, oh, that's my buddy Matt. Oh man, that's, yeah, now we're talking. That's cool. But why do girls call their friends girlfriends? Am I crazy? Am I a lunatic? Is it maybe they have friends and then their girlfriends are like they're really good friends? And don't get me started on, oh, bestie. Oh, this is my bestie. Val one time, she goes, oh, is so-and-so your bestie? I go, I don't have besties. I just thought of a term, but I won't say it on the podcast. Try to keep this PG-13. I'm a male. I don't have a bestie. No, I don't. Oh, we're besties. What? What are you in 7th grade? Why do women refer to their friends as girlfriends? I can't figure this out. Term of endearment. I get it. But then, maybe it's so that women can, oh, gee, I don't know. It's a pecking order always, right? With the ladies, I think, maybe. I don't know. I'm no expert. Just living life here. So it's interesting. Think about I'm all about the details and the terminology. Words matter. Definitions matter. And so I'm always thinking, where did that start? My mom used to say it. My other relatives would say it. My friends would say it. But even a guy would be, oh yeah, I have a female. Like guys who do have female friends. Girls will say, oh yeah, I have a guy friend, meaning not a in a relationship related. But when a guy has to explain that he's like has a female friend, it's really funny. It's like this this verbal alphabet, like can't quite know what to say. Yeah, I have a female, not a girl, female friend who I work with, who we really get along. Or you, or I have a friend, a woman friend. Like it just sounds weird. And honestly, a lot of men don't have female friends. Maybe there's a few exceptions. I think probably this doesn't make sense as much, but probably women have more male friends than men have female friends. I think. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but I would say that's probably in general. And I'm not talking about like wives of a friend or girlfriends of a cousin or something, like people you're kind of around because you're around someone else. I'm talking about true like coworkers or friends from when you grew up. They exist. They absolutely exist. I think it's great to have friends of the opposite sex because you get good perspective, you get advice, learn what to do, what not to do, and sometimes they can help you out quite a bit. I think it is shocking to women like how simple we are and our mind. I get asked all the time, what's on your mind? I'm like, nothing, literally. Or I'll be like, yeah, the Rams secondary. And she'll just roll her eyes. I'm just like, well, you asked. What do you, what do you think? I'm in some deep thought right now. I'm thinking about a cup of coffee and the Rams special teams. Like that's what I'm thinking about. That's probably the that's probably the most clean thing I'm thinking about, which is a pure thing, whatever you want to say. You know, the male mind, it's very simple, and there's a lot of bad corners. It's a round mind, it's a round head, but there's some dark corners in there that we need to try to avoid because the male mind, it's good to think about good things. And if not good things, just things that don't matter that much. Like I said, coffee or that ESPN documentary or whatever. Like we're not that. I mean, we call our friends buddy for goodness sake. We don't call our friends girlfriend. You guys are playing a totally different game, totally different league, and I can't figure it out. I'm not going to try to figure it out because unlike women, I don't care. I don't care that much, except when I'm on the podcast and I need something to talk about and to get you guys riled up here on the Get Home Safe podcast. Okay, we're at an hour or just about. I've hit it all today. I told you about a youth sports tragedy. Talked about COVID never ending. I've talked about women in their terms versus men in their terms. I talked about Lions in prime time. Talked about, one last thing. You know what's really, really hard? Explaining this. I don't watch preseason football. I will say that much. It's just cool that it's on in the background. But like explaining, again, to my lovely girlfriend, Val, explaining to women, and maybe there's women football fans out there. I get it. But for the next, 17-week season, 18-week season, plus the playoffs, for the next, we'll say 22, 23 weekends, I'm a football guy. Actually, no longer than that because NFL isn't even starting. College will start. So let's say about 25 weekends. Man, that sounds beautiful to say. 25 weekends, we'll have football in some form. But explaining like preseason football, yeah, this doesn't. She's like, aren't you going to watch the game? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't count. It's like, how come you don't feel this way about other games during the season? I'm like, because this game doesn't matter. It just doesn't count. Well, don't they all not matter? I'm like, it's preseason. This is not even the starters. This isn't even their best players. Why wouldn't they play their best players? Listen, just be happy I'm not glued to the TV for this specific game. They play 3 of these. The other 18, 17, God willing, 20 that they'll play, I will be glued to the TV. But for now, I don't care about this Rams preseason game. What do you need me to dust? What do you need me to clean? I'm here for you. Whatever you need. Explaining preseason football. it's not pretty. And preseason football is like what? It's like, to me, it's good, but not that. Yeah, it's cool that it's on. Preseason football is like a hamburger without a bun, lettuce wrap burger. It's probably, I'm gonna say preseason football is good for you, but it's good, but it's not. It's kind of, you're trying to. I don't know. Send me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys. Get Home Safe Podcast at yahoo.com or on our various social media platforms. It is 8:30. I got to run. I got to get to Real Hondo's practice. I got some great Charge to Keep podcast interviews and things. Send me your feedback. Let me know your thoughts on this show, either on our YouTube comments or on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever I post this episode. I would love to hear from you guys, or again, on our email. It's fun to hear from the fans. Initial thoughts. Tell me where I'm right, where I'm wrong. Maybe some thoughts you have. It's great to hear from all the audience out there. One day a week now on the Get Home Safe podcast, Thursday mornings, and the Charge to Keep podcast looking like that will be on Sundays. So follow us everywhere you can, YouTube, social media, wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate the support, guys, and this is a lot of fun. Good to be back in action. We bounced around a lot of different things today, and we will do a lot more moving forward. But guys, as always, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or rounding third base, get home safe.